Yeah, I want to point out in the heat of the moment there, um, the importance of your confidence in driving a truck and knowing exactly what professionalism means to you is a strength that most people don't have. Most people do not have a direct experience of a justified feeling of professionalism in their own life. Most people dabble at everything. That's why Facebook is so addictive. But you know something about professionalism from driving a truck. You can take a look at a space between two other trailers and the space around, and you know exactly if you can put that trailer between the other two. It's not even a question. It just, you can look at it and say, yep, no. So you have an inner guide that understands what your criteria of trusting and professionalism means exactly for you. That inner guide is also watching what you're doing with the trading as you're learning to acquire the skills of trading the same way you learn to acquire the skills of driving the truck. And you are on the pathway to learn those different things. And today is sort of an acknowledgement that, look, there's no shortcut to acquiring that professionalism, because otherwise your inner guide is telling you, nope. Until your inner guide is satisfied that you've done the professional things to acquire the skill, then and only then will you have the confidence of knowing exactly that same feeling. But you already know how to do that. You know 100% of what it's going to take to do that, and now you want to approach that in the same way that you learned to spot a truck when you're backing up. You don't put a high dollar value time pressured load on the first time you're backing in. No, you just do what you got to do to go through and acquiring those muscle memories. So bring that same mentality. So that's not a thing to despair about or worry about or to add pressure to you. That's actually a pressure relief button that lets you remember that you already know exactly everything you have to do. Now you got to do it, but you can eliminate all of the, well, gee, I wonder if I'm ever going to, shut up. You already know. And when your inner guide is satisfied that you've done the work to what you already know is a professional standard for you, you'll be able to bring the same confidence into driving it exactly the way you want to. Now, as a truck driver, do you have to drive every truck? Do you have to take every load?
No.
Do you have to ride it? Can you find some way to harmonize the truck driving of your professional life into your personal life? Yeah. Look
Yeah.
around. Your infrastructure says yes. So now it's simply, not simple, of course nothing's simple, but it's the simple matter of right sizing the system with the correct parameters that allow you to operate that in the professional space you've decided that you want to spend on the trading. Maybe that's the 3-day, 9-day system that I briefed last night that my brother Bill and Bob Rourke, Trader X, are working on, which is sniper trading, but at a much longer rate of time. And that also allows you, by the way, to have a lot more open positions that are uncorrelated. But you can trade that exactly professionally. To trade that is not to say, well, I'm not going to be professional. I'm just going to trade this other one because that's what my time frame. No. You're still going to trade it professionally to the satisfaction of your inner guide. It just means that that's the right time frame that fits your circumstances. That's all that means. But I just want you to recognize the importance of knowing something that 999 people out of 1,000 that are trading don't know. They do not know from personal experience what it means to be professional. Now, when you're a sniper looking at something in a compound critical state, that thing has multiple time frames where people are nervous in the service about which way is it going to go, I don't know, and they are all 100% agitated. Well, you know exactly what that feels like. You know exactly how the target feels when it is the object of hunters. But you also know exactly how all those other hunters from all those other different time frames feel as they're trying to approach through their little lens to wonder, is this the one that's going to work? And they're all nervous in the service. None of those guys are snipers. You're looking at the same trade, but you're also you're not even looking at the target, really. You're looking at the psychology of all the other hunters on both sides of the trades that are running around at maximum state of urgency and emergency. And there's a reason why those two words rhyme. Urgency creates the emergency, which makes those guys lose their mind and jump further and faster and farther and become overcome by their emotions because they don't have a pressure cooker with a pressure release valve and a steam valve and an engineer who's running this thing as a professional. That's the difference in that whole system. For every 1,000 traders, there's one sniper. In the Army, in a battalion, in an infantry battalion of 1,000 combat infantrymen, there's one sniper. And that's all I need is one sniper per battalion to make the huge difference. So I want you to remember that when you have framed out your trade and got your solutions and you're looking at that compound critical state from the target list and you've worked it out left and right, you also know exactly how all of the other traders who are gathered around there who see the trade, but they don't see you. They can't even imagine you and what you know. Or if they can imagine it, they don't even know what it takes to become professional in the management of those emotions and mental skills and physical traits. That's what it means to be a professional sniper. And you know what it feels like to be professional. And you know what it took for you to become professional in truck driving. Me too. I got 100,000 miles of accident-free driving in Army trucks. I've got 10 driver's badges, so I know exactly what that feels like. I can look at a spacey, I can back a truck up into there, or I can't. Done. That doesn't mean I'm a good person or a bad person. It's just I can spot that trailer or I cannot. I got to find another place to park it. That's all. It's just a professional. And I've disassociated. Oh, there was a spot I couldn't put a trailer in. So what? It doesn't mean I'm not a driver. It just means I know what kind of a driver I actually am. And I know what I can do. And I'm not going to waste any time. Oh, well, I couldn't spot that trailer in that location. I guess I'm going to have to just change my entire life. Really? Really? No. No. So that's the mentality, by the way, of the sniper psychology. I want you to remember when you're looking at that trade frame and it's under tension because it's a compound critical state. Because all those other time dimensions where people are looking at just one time for that target, it's in a critical state for them. So all that agitation is in there. They don't see all of the other agitation of the other time frames because they only look at their time frame. Because we're looking at multiple time frames, we get a sense of how close to an avalanche condition is that hill, and that the whole thing could just go in either direction. You know? And you could even make a decision, hey, I'm going to be a sniper trader and I'm only going to take the short side. Life is even simpler. Or I want to take it in either direction. You don't have to take it in either direction. You say, hey, I'm going to frame them out and I'm going to take it in the direction I want to take it in. If it breaks to the right, I'm all over it. If it breaks to the left, let it go. That's what I want to say is I want you to recognize that it's not you and the target. It is you observing all of the other traders who are unprofessional, running amok in their minds and emotions, and you know exactly what that herd does when it gets spooked. Does the herd get spooked at every noise? No. Only when they get startled, when there is a sudden abnormal piece of volatility as the trigger. Oh, now it's... In the quiet of the night, it doesn't take as much noise to spook the herd as it does in the middle of the day when there's all that noise coming around. That's the width of the Bollinger Bands. So when all of the Bollinger Bands are compressed and the doji is tight and the RLs are all together, that's when the compound critical state is happening. It's either abnormally volatile right now, oh, it's already in play, easy, or it's abnormally quiet. When it breaks out, it's going to go. I just don't know when. So that's what I want you to remember about your inner guide and your own personal standard for what professionalism means. You and you alone know what that is, and the good news is you know exactly what it is. And nothing else will do. Because you know the consequences of trying to act professionally when you are not yet a professional. You know what the risk is for that. And your inner guide won't let you do that until it's satisfied that you've done the right things. So you gotta embrace that as a strength, not as a source of anxiety. Aho.